Have you ever struggled with getting your scales to sound like actual music while you're improvising? Well, today we're going to take a look at an amazing exercise that's really effective for turning those scales that we all know and love into actual music. Not only will this exercise help you with your musicality, but it'll also help you with your technique, your speed, your up-tempo swing, and of course, your vocabulary. We took a line from a Petrucciani solo from All the Things You Are and created this. The four elements that will definitely help you turn your scales into music are sequences, target notes, technique, and a proper swing. And today's exercise addresses all of these elements all at once. So the exercise is based on the first few measures of All the Things You Are. Which includes a 6-2-5-1, secondary dominance, and modulations. What's great about these harmonic ideas is how common they are in the jazz language. So by learning this one exercise, you're not only reinforcing all of the key elements that we spoke about earlier, but you'll also be able to apply them again and again with most of your jazz standards. In the key of A flat, a 6-2-5-1 is F minor 7, B flat minor 7, E7, and A flat 6. All chords that are diatonic to the key of A flat. This means that with one scale, or note grouping, which in this case is the A flat major scale, you can play over this entire progression, which is exactly what you see here. This is a moving pattern consisting of 3 consecutive notes descending by thirds. This is a sequence. And if you start this sequence on the root of the scale, it will always perfectly fit a 6-2-5-1 progression. So a sequence is basically a moving pattern. What's great about sequences, besides their simplicity, is that there's an intrinsic quality of repetition built into sequences that tends to legitimize or musicalize your ideas. The exercise implements the same exact sequence 2 different ways. One with a walking bass line, and another with syncopation and root 7 shell voicings. This walking bass line is just an ascending line that contains a passing tone that allows us to perfectly land on the next chord's root. The syncopation is used to execute an anticipation. We're shifting the first note in the pattern earlier in the grid to create an anticipation. All right, so let's say I want to play this line in the key of C major. First, what's the chord progression? A 6-2-5-1 in the key of C is A minor 7 to D minor 7 to G7 to C major 7. My line is going to start on C because I'm in C major. And the pattern is going to be 3 consecutive notes ascending. And we're sequencing by moving a third down, using only notes from the C major scale. And in the key of F, it would be this. Now let's talk about target notes. Basically, a target note is a line's point of resolution, usually a chord tone. And the most effective target notes are guide tones, the 3rd and the 7th. Our exercise exclusively targets the 3rd and the root. Let me show you how we can use this in All the Things You Are. Now we're going to play a simple ascending line, still using notes only from the A flat major scale, that starts on the third of D flat major 7 and targets the third of G7, which means we're starting on F and targeting B. Remember, you can always target the guide tone of a chord. The guide tones of any chord are always the 3 and the 7. So in our line, we're going from D flat major 7's guide tone to G7's guide tone. And now we can move in the opposite direction in order to target, yet again, another guide tone, the third of C major 7, E. These notes here are derived from the G mixo flat 9 flat 13 scale, but they also happen to be present in the A flat major scale if you want to see them that way. Finally, we can play a tail in the bebop style like this. This is nothing more than a broken C major triad with a double chromatic approach to the root, D, D flat, and C. So in the key of C, we would play one more thing that we can add to the line is a 2-measure intro to target the 6 chord. Let's do a 1-4 followed by a 2-5 of the 6. In A flat, that's A flat major 7, D flat major 7, and then G minor 7 flat 5 followed by C7 flat 9. And let's use that same concept that we just used at the end of the line. Let's play an ascending line that starts on the third of the A flat major 7 and targets the third of C7. Again, the only note outside the A flat major scale is going to be that E. And we're going to play this twice, once without the syncopation and once with it. And notice how at the end of the second iteration, we're going to play a broken G7 arpeggio to end up higher in the register and play the exact same tail. This is useful because a slight change in the direction can help us move to other ranges in the instrument and create interesting yet easy variations of our line. Now we have an exercise in all keys, which will be essential for your technique. The task of playing this exercise in 12 keys will do wonders for your technique. And spending this kind of quality time with your instrument will naturally expose you to an understanding of fingerings, scales, bass lines, and syncopation that you might not have otherwise. As always, all of our members will receive a PDF with an exercise helping you with today's concepts. If you're not a member yet, go ahead and click on that join button down below. And please subscribe, it really helps out the channel. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We'll catch you next time.